taking a road trip to try and make a point that I make in my book, No Way to Fight a War, regarding taking our eye off the ball. Here in 2014, major issue, political issue, and scientific issue facing the United States and the world is the issue of man-caused global warming. I found it interesting. I read a book recently about the ill-fated expedition of the USS Jeaneatte that deals with another scientific theory that was found to be completely false. So in a summer that has been especially cool, and in a period where we read reports of Antarctic ice and polar ice, the Arctic polar ice growing to points that are historic, unprecedented, in a period where just a few short years ago was predicted by noted climatologists John Kerry and Al Gore that the North Pole would be ice-free by the year 2013. Over my shoulder you can see the memorial to the USS Jeaneatte. Jeanette was the exploration ship that took part in an expedition in the late 1870s, 1881, that probably matches our trip to the moon in 1969. At the time, the North Pole was the unknown. It was momentous for Naval Academy grads because it was led by a captain, Naval Academy graduate by the name of DeLong. And it's interesting, I'm reminded of this, brought my copy of Reef Points. This is a kind of a guidebook that are given to all first-year midshipmen called plebes. And my edition, the most that it refers to, it's kind of a trivia, is that this is an unusual memorial because it's a cross that has icicles dripping from it. And that is to commemorate. Another unusual thing is that unlike all the other headstones here at the Naval Academy Cemetery, is that there are no bodies buried beneath the monument here. It is a memorial to the officers and scientists and journalists that took part in this expedition, and the main burial site is in Brooklyn, New York. This actually commemorates a cross that was erected by another Naval Academy noteworthy by the name of George Melville. He erected a cross where they found the bodies of Captain DeLong and part of his party in Siberia. Anyway, what prompts me to come here to the Naval Academy Cemetery today is I read a book review in August. The book review was written by an author by the name of Gary Christ. He wrote it for the Washington Post. And the book's title is In the Kingdom of Ice, The Grand and Terrible Polar Voyage of the USS Jeaneatte. And the book is by an author by the name of Hampton Sides. The thing that struck me about the book review, though, was that Gary Christ kind of missed out on what seemed to me a pretty easy parallel of history of the USS Jeaneatte and the current debate over global warming. There, in the book and in the review, he talks a lot about the cast of characters that kind of were the genesis of this ill-fated voyage. One being the work of the noted geographer, German geographer at the time of August Petermann, and a character by the name of James Gordon Bennett Jr., who was the owner of the New York Herald, the prominent New York City newspaper at the time. And James Gordon Bennett financed this venture, and it was all based on the premise that the Arctic Sea was open and navigable, and that it was going to be the role of the Jeanette, captained by Captain DeLong and his crew, to prove this belief and sail to the North Pole and discover the North Pole, one of the last remaining discoveries on Earth. Anyway, it did not go on to show a parallel between our current situation, where we have people such as Petermann, who have this very strong belief in this polar sea. We have individuals such as Al Gore and his book Inconvenient Truth, and movies, and talking about global warming, and even worse, people like Al Gore and John Kerry, Secretary of State John Kerry, former presidential candidates, both of them, and even our Admiral and former Naval Academy Commandant Sam Locklear, who's a commander of the U.S. Pacific Command right now, who stated at Harvard University back in 2013 that the ice is melting and the sea is getting higher, and all these dire predictions. And anyway, I see also a connection with Bennett as the benefactor of all this. Is we have a character by the name of Tom Steyer, a former hedge fund manager, billionaire, who is using hundreds of millions of his own dollars, and I guess up to this year he's already contributed $20 million of his own money to the Democrat candidates for the Senate and the House of Representatives to promote a single agenda of global warming and the promotion of good green energy. Anyway, I found it a very interesting parallel with today, and I leave it to you to decide where you fall on it. I come away from this highly skeptical about the existence of global warming and whether or not, just like in the case of Jeanette, we're after a false science.